talking about the ongoing economy. Now, a lot of us have, we don't know a whole lot about the economy, and you got to be careful and understand how these things work. But Trump, in this first clip that Adler has, says we have to build a strong economy. And he says you can't really watch the stock market as any indication because it has so many fluctuations. But here's Trump commenting on that. So here we go.
And a lot of people said, oh, this is the business president. This is it. He's watching the stock market. He knows all about, he doesn't want the market to go down. And now we've got tariffs and the market has been going down.
Well, not much. I mean, in all fairness,
you said, look, we're going to have a disruption, but we're okay with that. Is that what you meant? The stock market going down was the disruption? What other disruption were you alluding to?
Look, what I have to do is build a strong country. You can't really watch the stock market. If you look at China, they have a 100-year perspective. We have a quarter. We go by quarters.
That's true.
And you can't go by that. You have to do what's right. What we're doing is we're building a tremendous foundation for the future. Tremendous foundation.
So also, speaking of tariffs, Trump drops new tariff bombshell after Canada has threatened to shut off electricity completely to 3 U.S. states that get power out of Canada. So he says he said that this, of course, now this is going to, Trump will volley back over the net now. He's already followed through on a promise to put a 25% tariff on Canadian electricity to Michigan, New York, and Minnesota. And now the Ontario premier, who runs Canada's most populated province, says that he's ready to shut electricity off completely if America continues to escalate. Now, Trump, of course, has come back mocking this plan, saying despite the fact that Canada is charging the USA from 250% to 390% tariffs on many of our farm products, Ontario just announced a 25% surcharge on electricity, of all things, and you're not even allowed to do that, he said on his social media, Truth Social. So he said, Trump says, don't worry, we will get it all back on April the 2nd when the administration's tariff plan goes into effect. So a little back and forth between us and Ontario, and also the entire country of Canada.
Something to think about. I thought Trump made a great point about how China thinks in terms of empires, not in terms of quarterly stock reports. You see that in the deal that the British made with what was it? What city? Or what was it? No, it wasn't Tokyo. Anyways, the Umbrella Revolution. When Britain said we'll give it back to you in 100 years. And China was like, 100 years? Sure, no problem. That's like no time to us. We're thinking in terms of 1,000 years. I thought that was a great point because Trump is trying to build a strong foundation for the future of the country. And so if we have a bad quarter or two, then it's okay. That's just something to think about when it comes to the long game.
I'm sorry, I stopped listening about halfway through that. That's how long that game
I really
was.
stayed dialed in.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It wasn't that long.
But try to tell them
it wasn't that long.
That was pretty
Maybe
condensed.
just go. Try to tell an American that, and no one wants to hear stay in a bad economy a little bit longer to be good for us because of our debt. You're never going to sell an American on that.
Yeah.
Even though that may be true.
Sure.
But you're never going to. People want to hear. And a lot of times when you think about the stock market, and we've talked about that even on the Rick and Bubba show for years, a lot of it is just how people feel.
Yeah.
So well, this is how we feel. We're scared right now, so we hold our money. Yeah. We don't feel confident spending our money, and some of it just takes slow turns, and it's always going to be. I remember the first time that I heard Paul Harvey say this. He said the only people that get hurt on roller coasters are people who jump off. Mm-hmm. Oh, and so the stock market is always a roller coaster, and the economy. But at the end of the day, the simplest thing to do to help an economy is to give Americans more of their own money to spend. Mm-hmm. Yeah, to me that one always works. That works better than anything.
Absolutely.
And to give them, I hate to say this, a lot of times it has to do with feelings, how they feel about spending money. Mm-hmm.
Something to consider is that
and supply and demand is always going to affect cost.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Something to consider is that Biden's economy was propped up by government jobs.
Yes, I saw that.
The final 2 years of Biden, 1 in every 4 jobs created in America was a government job.
Yep.
Which is that's crazy.
Yeah.
When you look at the jobs under Trump in the first month, 93% were private sector jobs.
Yeah, and all this takes time. We're kind of doing, and we will see it because some of these things have always worked, and other things that, like y'all just mentioned, have never worked. But some of this is things that have to be done for the future of the country. And we're pretty selfish as people. None of us really like any sort of sacrifice on our part for the benefit of others in the long term. What we're on right now, and it kind of goes into some other things that people can't seem to wrap their mind around, is sometimes you got to stop pretending that what you're doing is sustainable. If it's not sustainable, then you have to do something else. And so we are doing things differently because what we were doing was not sustainable.
Absolutely not.
And if you'll just be patient and you'll just continue moving forward, you're going to see the results you're looking for.
Yep.